welcome to the Intern Whisperer Live, the show all about internships and how to excel and do well. Mel.
Reminder, listeners, you can call us live on the air. The phone number is 407-582-2906. You can also chat with us online through the Intern Pursuit Facebook live chat.
Coming up on this episode of Intern Pursuit Live, end of semester looking for internships? Sign up with Intern Pursuit or contact Isabella at internpursuit.tech. We also have our guest, Dr. Calvin Williams, an award-winning professional with 25 years of experience and is an exceptional communicator who drives results through authentic leadership, team empowerment, and innovation. Glad to have you.
So, social plugs. You can find Intern Pursuit on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find our Intern Pursuit game on Facebook and Twitter, and you can listen to us live on mixlr.com/Valencia College Radio. Follow the Intern Whisperer. You can watch us live on Intern Pursuit, and you can call us live on the air. Again, the phone number is 407-582-2906, and chat with us online through Intern Pursuit's Facebook live chat.
Pixel Crawler is a suite of tools that audits, monitors, and historically tracks the pixels implemented on your website. There are strong dependencies built on the consistency and accuracy of the data collected by the tracking pixels, and Pixel Crawler will help ensure all data is being collected as intended. Their website is pixelcrawler.com. Thank you, Pixel Crawler, for being a patron of the Intern Whisperer.
Okay. Don't play it now. It's okay. So, Intern Pursuit news. Students who want to join our startup team and be an Intern Pursuit student influencer or brand ambassador, go to internpursuit.tech/careers to check out the job descriptions and apply to be a part of our superhero team. We're inviting employers of all types and sizes to be part of our early adopter beta program. Early adopter employers are accepted to participate, and you can contact me, Isabella, at internpursuit.tech for more information. Go to our social feed and read our What I Learned stories from previous semester interns. So welcome, Dr. Calvin Williams, to the Intern Whisperer. We're so excited to have you.
I am excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for the invite. Looking forward to networking with everyone.
Very nice. Mel, you want to kick us off?
Yes, Dr. Williams, I kind of want to go back to the beginning of your higher education journey, and if you can tell our viewers where you went to college, your major, and if you did an internship, and what your experience was with that.
Okay, I'll do that. I was, I guess you could say, more of an unorthodox student because I did most of my education while I was serving active duty in the Air Force. So I would work all day and then actually go to school at night. So from my undergrad and my master's, I spent most of my time doing that. My undergrad is in psychology. From Liberty University, and my graduate work master's degree is in counseling and human relations. Always nosy. I want to know why people do what they do, so I kind of did the best of both worlds. My PhD is in industrial organizational psychology. A lot of times I just abbreviate it for organizational psychology. So psychology of the workplace, how to get hired, how to stay hired, team building. As far as the internship, again, I was a non-traditional student, so really not, but I did a cultural immersion project. What that equated, I was in career services doing career development. That was my career development course in my master's program. And I immersed with the Jewish culture in Macon, Georgia. So what that looks like is I actually had to reach out to a rabbi, and I had to attend synagogue services over a week to kind of understand what that meant. So I interviewed the rabbi, interviewed leaders of the synagogue, interviewed members of the synagogue. They had no idea why I was there, but they let me participate. And what it was is to kind of show me as a counselor how to deal with folks from different culture. I didn't know anything about the Jewish culture other than things I kind of thought I saw on TV, but it was a way for me to kind of understand their Sabbath, what their services, why they eat certain things. And one of the things I did find out is Jewish is not just religious, it's the life. Mm-hmm. They are, some days you're Baptist, but Jewish folks are Jewish every day. And that was good for me to be able to see and work with different folks in the career services world.
Yeah, it is part of not just a culture, but it is a heritage thing. Mm-hmm. Ancestry.com, it shows I have I think it's 5% Jewish in lineage in my family, and I thought that was kind of interesting too because we're told We were American Indian. We're
Right.
not. There's other features that show up.
So
yeah.
I learned a lot. So it wasn't an official internship, but I actually had to do that. I had to come back and write a paper on the cultural immersion, and I got an A on it, so I think I did okay.
Yeah, you did good.
I did.
Yeah, yeah. And do you still, from that experience, do you still keep in touch with people from that time frame? Did you develop friendships out of it?
I did, and I'm invited back anytime. Again, I left Macon and actually moved to Orlando, but anytime I go back up, the rabbi is still there, the leaders of the synagogue are still there, and I have an open invitation. And I actually go by just to say hello because it was a good experience. I learned a lot. I felt I need to learn more because of their experience. But yeah, I'm welcome back, and I do go back and say hello and stop by whenever I'm back up in Georgia.
That's really nice. So one of the things that I had read, I don't think we're on here. There we go, is a quote from your blog article, always reach back and help others. It means always remember that somebody helped us to get where we are today. And that was your quote. Zig Ziglar's quote is, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. So who is the person that stands out for you the most in your life that gave you that chance?
I would like to cheat and just kind of list a bunch of names because I have multiple mentors.
Well,
but
you know what? I think that's okay.
Yeah, no, I will stick with the script, and,
Okay.
I'll give you the person that stands out to me as far as when you say give a chance. She's my mentor, one of my mentors, Ann Lloyd. I met her when I was doing work at Macon State College. The chance that she gave me is, again, I said I was in the Air Force, and if you know anything about me, I was a computer analyst. I did event planning. Nothing about that said university career services. So again, my undergrad is in psychology, counseling. So she kind of leveraged that educational piece and saw I had a passion for helping people. And when I interviewed for the position, I always tell students, go and do your best because nothing in my background said I could do the job other than I had a degree. And she took the chance. So my first job out of the Air Force, 3 weeks, I took a uniform off, and 3 weeks later I went to work on a university campus. I'd never done that. So Ann Lloyd was that person that gave me she took a chance on me. I think it worked out really well because I've been doing this ever since for the last 13 years. The biggest thing I learned from her in higher ed, and I think sometimes folks don't get it, is our job is to help students. And, you're not saying all professors do this, but sometimes they're too busy to sit down with you. But the biggest thing she beat into me is like, we are here to help students. They walk in at 4:32 and we get off at 4:30, whatever. We take care of them. And that sticks with me. And so some of my passion to help and make a difference, that's where it came from. But, again, I could say other folks, but Ann Lloyd from Macon State College, she took a big chance on me, and I've been doing this ever since.
Is she still there? Does she still work? Or?
She has her own consulting. She retired from the educational system, but she's still in Macon, and she has her own, kind of like me. I think I stole her idea. She has her own little consulting. So she teaches adjunct up there, and she teaches Sunday school up there. And again, networking is networking. She connected me to the Jewish synagogue because one of her best friends was in her organization. So it kind of touched that as well. But she's not with Macon State anymore, but she's still in the area. We communicate pretty much monthly.
Oh, that's cool.
So I still, you're never too old for your mentors. So I get advice from her as many times as I need.
Don't you think mentoring is like a 360 experience, though? It comes back. I know that I learn from all of the ones that are around me because they're studying different things. They also have different backgrounds, different heritage. Right. So it's not just that.
No, I agree. And I'm smiling because she'll tell me on the phone, is like, you're mentoring me more than I'm mentoring you. I'm like, yeah,
right?
but
right?
Let's just keep it the way it is. I'll say you're my mentor, but yeah, I do mentor. And even the folks that I mentored, I say the same thing because if you let them talk, you're going to learn something from your mentees. And to me, that's the exciting part about it because I'm not just telling them things to do or giving them ideas. They're giving me other things. I mentioned the lunch meeting I had with one of my mentees today. she got something from me. I learned from her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm meeting with another one for breakfast tomorrow, and we talk.
Okay,
on the
we
phone.
should definitely give them a special shout out. So Caitlin Study,
Yes,
we
Kate.
love her. I know I do. And then also Daniel Botera.
Daniel Botera.
Yeah, we have to give them some social.
Yeah, they are in a small world. I met Daniel as a UCF student maybe in 2011, and I met Caitlin as a UCF student either 2011 or 2012. And they're in my phone, so they'll text me when they have, hey, I need to talk to you, or I can reach out to them. So again, lessons from Ann Lloyd, mentoring from me. I put it into other folks, and if I can say, I consider myself a tree, and everybody I mentor as branches, and then my branches are responsible to reach out and help everybody else. If not, I beat them.
It's that movie Pay It Forward. Do you guys know that movie?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
You
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
okay? I'm surprised. I thought you've heard of,
Yeah.
read, or seen just about every movie. All right, Pay It Forward. It's a good movie
Yeah.
though.
Maybe there's like two that I haven't seen yet.
Okay, Pay It Forward is one of the two. All right, Melanie.
Yes, Dr. Rollins, I was hoping you can kind of tell us about the secrets of networking. What are 3 to 5 tips that you have for students or seasoned professionals about improving their networking skills?
I would say networking skills, just like anything, we call it a skill. You have to practice it. If you go to a networking event once a year, you're not going to be very good. If you go to multiple, you seek out these opportunities, make yourself uncomfortable. So I guess the number one tip is it's a skill that you can build. So the more you practice, the more you talk to folks you're not used to. Again, you guys talk to professors, talk to other educators or administrators, go to human resources, your communication, go to those type of things. So it's a skill that you build up. The other tip I would say is if you're not on LinkedIn, get there. Build your profile, because folks like myself, that's my primary area that I'm going to look for talent. I'm going to look for folks to reach out to. You can do it as well. If you're looking for folks in New York City to talk about the movie business, you can find by company. You can toggle, and this is, I say, there's search features. I always say toggle. You have the perfect thing. If you're a UCF student, find somebody in the entertainment industry in New York who went to UCF. It's an easy conversation because now you get to talk about those professors that you shared or the ideas. I've never had an alum not want to talk to someone. So again, you can reach out to folks like me, but if someone's an alum in your school, perfect opportunity for you to talk to them. With your networking, have your elevator pitch ready to go. So when you reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I do this to make sure everybody understands, you can't just do that, hey, I want to connect with you. That's the lazy way. Tell me, where did I meet you? Who are you? What's your name? What's your major? When do you graduate? And while you're networking, what do you want from me? Do you want a business card? Do you want to take me to lunch? You want to talk? You want to get hired? Don't be afraid to tell the people, because I'll go to networking events and I'll shake 200 hands and nobody asks me for anything. And then they'll email me, hey, I was the guy in the black suit. Can't do any, I don't, so if you have something, so again, get something, tell them what you want, have your business cards. Again, as students, name, major, when you graduate, interest areas. Give that to them. Hey, can I follow up with you? I'm going to reach out to you on LinkedIn. So don't walk away from a networking event, especially if it's a person you really want to meet and talk to, without telling them, hey, I'm contacting you.
I'm going to add to that because sometimes I don't have business cards with me. And when I'm meeting people, I'll go and say, hey, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? And I'll do that right there on the spot, because then I'm already showing an interest in meeting them. So if you don't have cards, always ask for their card, or definitely ask to connect with them.
Yeah, and I'll go back. LinkedIn is probably the easiest way. And I stopped carrying business cards because a lot of times if folks want to work with me, I'm like, I'm on LinkedIn. I don't turn too many people away, but if you can't find me after I tell you who I am and where I'm, you don't want to work with me. So I use that as a test to see, are you hungry? And if you're not willing to help yourself reaching out, I just go to that next branch on the tree. So I don't have a business card to give you. I do have business cards, but I don't give them to everywhere, because I want you to go to LinkedIn. Then when you reach out, just tell me, hey, we were in you were in my interview on the radio. I got to remember you there, but tell me why, and tell me exactly what I can do, because what do you want? You want me contacts I have in New York City? Great. We'll work on that. But just remember, get something from the folks you're in a networking event and tell them what you want and follow up with them. Those are the tips that I would say. It applies to students, seasoned professionals. Everyone can use those.
And then I'm even going to build on top of this. My attorney says this to me also. Because he does work here for Interim Pursuit Pro Bono, John Ennis. He's a really great attorney, giving him a shout out. He's been a guest on the show. But also, when you take them to lunch, when you take that person to lunch, you're really showing gratitude for spending time with them. In addition, it's a really nice way to really establish that relationship and start it off where it's not just all about you, it's about something else. What can you give back to that person? So by going to lunch with them, buying them lunch, it's a really great way to be respectful of that time that you're asking for.
Well, again, networking is a two-way street. It's okay to ask for things, but don't be afraid to say, hey, what can I do for you?
Yes.
And it may not be anything big, but just, I say, throw that out there, because there are times where, even as a seasoned professional, I'll reach out to folks on LinkedIn and say, hey, I want to talk to you. And most people are really quick to say, yes, let's see what we can do. I've had some people like, I don't do that. Talk to this person. That's not really helpful. Give me 2 minutes and let me ask my question. That's, but I don't forget that. But again, I still will help you, but don't be that person, because everyone had to start somewhere. Everyone needs help. So that's why I say, if you reach out to me, I've never turned anybody down. Now, I may not be able to do something, but I'll tell you who can. So if I need to kick a contact to you, I'm going to tell that contact you're coming there. And again, you reach out to them, but I'll connect you if I can't do anything for you.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Jonathan?
So we touched lightly about this subject before the show, but Dr. Messiah, I want to know how you partnered with her and your experience with her.
Well, I'm hoping she listens to this, watches this. Dr. Messiah, when my time at UCF, is one of the best partners I had there. I had really good ones around the campus, but as a professor, she understood the concept of going to school, getting the theory, and then putting it into play and going to work. So my partnership with her was, she always invited me into her class every semester as a career services professional to actually talk to students about networking, how to reach out to employers, how to create an elevator speech, how to interview. So she always brought us in to do that. So I would say, I'm pretty sure she's still doing it. She used her industry experience, not just her academic, to actually help students with that. So that's one of the partnerships that I had, and that's how I work with her.
Definitely. When I was with her, she was definitely a very motivational speaker, and really cared about the marketing class and her students, and wanted her students to have a bright future. So I definitely really can agree to that.
So, so I was wanting just to have a little shout out. Roger is one of the interns. He's from Rollins College, and he wrote us a little note. So just write him back and say, hey, thanks for chatting here. So that would be super nice. But we are going to actually go into our second patron announcement, so we'll transition into that.
All right, our second patron for the night is Artistry.io. Artistry.io is a product customization tool for e-commerce stores that increase revenue, customer trust, and business efficiency. Artistry's robust product customizer allows business owners to sell personalized products in an existing e-commerce store and automate the processes of custom orders. Their website is Artistry.io. Thank you, Artistry.io, for being a patron of the Intern Whisperer Live.
The National Association of Colleges and Employers Management Leadership Institute. Tell us about the organization and your role with them.
The shortest version of that is NACE, National Association of College Employers, is the group of every college campus career services staff in the country. Actually, it's international. And then there are employers. So every Fortune 500, Fortune 50 company that you would think, they get together and they're part of NACE. And what we do is we talk back and forth as an employer. What are you looking for in college students? And then from career services, how can we get our college students in front of you? So it's a good consortium of ideas and folks trying to get college students hired. the institute, the Management Leadership Institute, is identified where, from the career services side, anyone who shows the potential to lead, run a career center, or grow beyond that, they're selected to go to that. So I went in 2016. There were about 60 folks from around the country that I got to network. So my cohort was 60 folks, and we basically got around and we shared ideas on leadership. If you're doing something in California in career services, we wanted to understand what that we could do in Florida. So we shared ideas. There I actually was introduced to some of the leaders of the Institute, where they had looked at my dissertation on authentic leadership. And from that, I got invited to present a webinar to the National Association members on what I wrote in my research on authentic leadership within career services. If you don't know, not very many folks in higher education get a formal leadership class. It's like, hey, you got a PhD, you run this. So what I did is I was interested in how to make us better leaders. My leadership directly translates to how we impact students. So from there, I did a webinar with NACE. They've actually written an article on my research, and it's still posted on their site. So my experience with them was I was an attendee. That led me to, again, networking. They took my ideas and let me do a webinar for the national folks, and then there's an article on it. So I guess the 2019 cohort is starting there in St. Louis. So again, they do 60 every year, but you're selected based on potential for growth and different things that you've done within the career field.
So it's only for individuals from schools?
For the Institute, yes. There were the only employers that were there were employers who were trainers.
Oh, okay.
So this is to get your career services office staff prepared for that next step. So if I wanted to go from being an assistant director to an executive director, these are things, because they show you how to do the budget and how to get people paid, how to hire folks.
So the trainers were the ones that were facilitating the workshop?
Correct. So these are
I
folks
see.
who've been in the field for, I think, for the 19 cohort, you got the executive director from Princeton coming in to do some
Wow.
training. When I was there, we had the organizational development trainee from Walmart headquarters who came in and kind of worked with us. So this is the who's who of the field to actually come in and get the next generation, that next set, ready to assume leadership roles.
Wow, that's impressive. I was interested, now I'm not a member, but can anybody participate with NACE? Do you have to be a member to be able to participate, or come in and like be an external trainer, or be able to?
You can do both.
Yeah.
If you want to attend some of these things, you would have to be a member, and there is an employer membership fee for the career services side. Not everyone who works in career services is a member of NACE. You have to pay in. So based on what position you're in and what you're trying to get done. At UCF, I was a member of NACE. At FSU, I was a member of NACE because my job was to get employers to come on campus, so I needed to be there. But not everyone in my office was a NACE member. From your side, you can be an employer member, and that gets you all the benefits. You get invited to all the additional trainings, the face-to-face. If you go to the NACE conference next week, you can attend as a non-member. The price is higher.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
but yes, you can join NACE. They don't have a student rate. We normally have our students go to the Florida Association of College Employers, because
Yep.
they have an opportunity for them there. But yes, you can join NACE, and you can get all the benefits. I've never seen an employer at the Management Leadership Institute. That's more for the career services side, but you could go to train.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd love to be able to be a trainer there. That would be pretty interesting. I was wondering about how that all worked, and particularly what the organization was.
So this question is based on the walk into the future topic. What's the most transformative change that college students today will experience when they enter their workplace?
Excellent question, and I always like to plug Walk in the Future, the blog. One of the things that I have, and I think we were saying you love the idea of walk, because a lot of times everything in the past has already happened.
Right.
Let's move forward and go. I would say, if we're going to say the most transformative for me, in my advice is college students transitioning into the workplace. I have to change your mindset of you're no longer college students. Even today as interns, you're working in a workplace. To me, you're no longer college students, you're young professionals. And the biggest thing I have to do is make sure y'all understand how that looks, because now when you go into the workplace, the people that you're sitting with are your coworkers and not your classmates. They're your bosses and not your professors. So you have to make that adjustment. I'm not saying you can't have fun at work, but you have to look at what you have on social media. You can't necessarily put everything you do on the weekend on your social media platform and then have your boss friend you and it's like, how did you know what I was doing? A true story, I wish it was. And I've had students who friended their supervisor on Facebook or wherever and then complain about the job.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's just like, yeah.
Oh, I called in sick yesterday, but I was really hungover.
As they give
Yeah.
yourself a whole.
I kind of wish I was making this up, but this happens, and I'm like,
I've got horror stories
Yeah.
like that, too.
have fun, but remember who you connected to. And also remember, those folks can read what you put out there. If you call in sick and you really had a hangover, they can. So I say the biggest thing is getting that mindset of these are my coworkers now. When you get into the workplace, I always say don't be afraid to listen because there's someone there. Get a mentor. If you don't have a good onboarding program, ask them, hey, who's my mentor? Who can show me around? Most organizations are going to have an onboarding. If you don't, they need to talk to me because I think that's one of the biggest keys. They can eliminate some of these mistakes with new hires, new college students coming in by having an onboarding. What is the handbook? A lot of times, 8 to 5. When do I come to work? What are my lunch hours? Again, you don't think of those while you're in school. And I always like to hurt y'all's feelings. That's the senior year, that's your last spring break. There are no more. You can take vacation, but you don't just get a free week off. But I think, and I joke with it, but I have fun. But the biggest thing is going from a college student to a young professional and just that mindset of understanding these folks are your peers, they're your supervisors, and a lot of times with your bonuses and your pay rate, it depends on what these people think of you as opposed to A's and B's. It's like, what do you do? And do you come to work on time? Are you always late? And you don't want to be that person. There's no class on going to work. I wish there was. But that's the biggest thing I think my advice to college students is going from I'm just a college student to no, you're a young professional.
I
and things need
totally
to-
agree with you because when I, all of these people, these three on the other side of the table have been with me a good month. Abby's been with me 6-7 months.
Almost.
Yeah, 8 maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe 8.
Probably.
Yeah. We've been together for a while. And there's several things I tell them. This isn't an internship. I mean, it's called that, but this is a real job. And I have to remind them this is a real job. And it's not school. So one of the students that I've worked with, I've said, okay, when do you think you can have this done? And they're telling me 3 months. I said, this isn't a school project. This is actually something that has to be turned around quickly. And they all have heard me say this too. When interviewing, if you come in and you tell me, what can I take off of your shoulders, I'm impressed right off the bat. Because I know that you're coming in here to work and that you have the right attitude. So I could not agree with you even more that perception and drawing that line in the sand and going, this is a job. This is preparing me for whatever my next step might be, and which is supposed to be graduation and get a job. Welcome to adulting.
Yeah, and that's the one thing is again, I wish there was a class on this transitional piece, but that's it. I got to plug the Career Center. That's what they're there for. That's what a lot of professors are because like, hey, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get a job, and I'm great. But what does work look like? Because for the last 4 or 5 years, you guys have been in a class. They told you what time your class starts, what time your class ends, when your papers are due, when you have. In the workplace, it's like, hey, I got a project. I'm going to give it to you, and if you can show me you do it, you have to show me your value. And I always say for staying employed, if you help me make money, you show me your value, you stay employed. If you can't help me make money, you don't show your value, you don't show up on time, I can find someone else to do those things. So not to be harsh, but that's the adulting. That's the real world.
No, that is the real world.
But if you're going to say, how do I transition from that college student to the work world? Change your mindset. So even now at school, I always tell you, Daniel, when he would show up in a suit a lot of times because he was getting his mindset ready because that's where you wanted to work. And again, when you're in front of people, that networking, you dress for the job you want as opposed to what you have. So you can never be too dressed up. But again, onboarding, when you get to work, what is the dress? I don't dress like this every day. I try to impress y'all, but again, in your workplace, what is the dress? And it's okay to ask that. Good thing that hopefully I have a onboarding handbook, but if not, ask.
So
a lot
there's
of
an
questions.
onboarding process here. Yeah, I'm an onboarding person also, like yourself. And they all went through onboarding together. We had it in one group. They knew what time to be there. They knew how they were supposed to dress. We were doing headshots. There was all of these things that they had to complete paperwork, and then there was a whole set of process. I'm a big fan of onboarding. I agree.
There are a lot
That's
of
on the employer side.
That is, and a lot of organizations are just getting into it because they'll hire someone, and then with the younger generation, even though I'll hire you, but I didn't really tell you what the job was. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Now I got a problem. You don't want to come back. So that's on me as the employer. So if an organization doesn't have an onboarding handbook or a process, they need to get one because that eliminates a lot of headaches later on because well, I didn't know I was supposed to be here by 9 o'clock. I didn't know what the dress code was. Okay, again, it's not to be regimented, but it keeps you out of trouble because, if the boss's boss comes by and you're asleep at your desk, you can't take naps at work or close your door. There's ways to get it done.
Especially in the co-working world. In the co-working world, it's really more challenging. And now there's this trend, which I'm sure you've seen, and a lot of them are very familiar with, is wanting to work remotely. We all work a lot remotely, right? That's part of the culture of Intern Pursuit and Pivot. I'm going to turn this over here on you, Abby. What have you been able to learn from being able to work remotely, and how that has transitioned from your intern experience? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm only going to hold it on one because I know that we've been wanting to make sure we stay on top.
Well, I would say working remotely, it's a first for me. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity, but I like it. It gives you time to think and go over things more thoroughly. It's something very new, I would say, for me. So I don't really have a lot to base it on. I'm still kind of learning the ropes, but I really like it. It's an interesting experience, and I feel like I don't really have many excuses. If I'm working remotely, it's completely on me, and I'm the one to blame. And I like that. I own up to what I do when I'm working that way, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I can say about it at the moment. Not really that experienced in that department, but it's definitely interesting for sure.
Very good. All right. So, and just so you know, Calvin, my dad was in the Air Force.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
And you were Air Force brat?
No, he was Air Force. He was in the Guard.
Okay.
He would be on special missions, and he was in Vietnam. He was in Korea for two stints. My brother is Air Force, career. He is a Warrant Officer 5, so he flies also.
Gotcha.
So, hats off.
I would say, again, not to promote for y'all to go do it, but one of the benefits, I've never had a student loan. So, again, I could rattle off degrees. I've never had to pay anything extra. They paid for it. I've seen every country that I've ever wanted to go to on their dime. I've lived in Japan, snorkeled in Okinawa.
Wow.
Did a little stint in the desert in Saudi Arabia. That wasn't the most exciting, but it's a good way to see the world. Again, for me, I never had a student loan, so I tell everybody if you can do it, just do it for the travel. And again, I ended up retiring, but you don't have to do it. But it is a good way to get away and kind of see the world, and I have so.
Yeah, my brother has, he was on special, he doesn't do it anymore. He actually teaches helicopter flying for the Army in Fort Rucker. But he used to do special ops, and so he's not allowed to talk about anything that he does. It's like fly in, fly out.
Classified.
It's the movies. He lives the life of the movies. And, I say, oh, so you're like Van Diesel or whatever, whoever the latest person is that's in those type of movies. But he is kind of a superhero to me. He told me he had, this is interesting, 85% disability in various parts of his body because of things that have happened.
Yeah.
And yet he's like the most functioning person you would think. You would go, really? Where?
Well, it's a cheater. The government will give you a disability rating, so you can't claim anything when you get old. So they'll basically, it's a way they can pay you but you can't 20 years from now say, oh, my leg fell off. No, we gave you money already.
Yeah,
So you can function. You just don't want to be 100%.
Yeah, no.
I know some folks and they're in pain
Yeah.
from jumping out of airplanes and knees are shot. So
Yeah, his knees are shot
Yeah.
and other things, but yeah.
there's a good rating you want, but you don't want 100.
So your pivot in life has given you a great life that's filled with interesting chapters. From being a computer analyst, you shared that with us, to working in the education sector as a conference planner, and also with the U.S. Air Force. You shared an article, Please Feed the Unicorn, with tips on how to pivot well. I really like that article. So I wanted you to be able to share some of those tips.
Well, with that, unicorn is just our code word for special people. So, and again, I would say tree branches, a lot of folks that I work with, my mentors are unicorn, my mentees to me are unicorns, and we want to make sure we take care of them. But as far as the pivots, the tips, like different things, again, your degree doesn't define you. So again, I told Caitlin today is when we're looking at hiring, I hire for character. I can teach you a job. Okay. If you have the character, you're going to show up and you have the want to do the job, I will hire you and I'll train you how to do that job. That's not the issue. So I'm degree, great. I would say the biggest thing that helped me with my multiple pivots is mentors. I mentioned Ann Lloyd, and I'll mention another. I don't know if she's going to listen to this or watch it, but Janet Creighton, when I was in the Air Force, she gave me a lot of empowerment to do some things. So I would say, how do you pivot in life? If you go out and you figure out, hey, I want to change my career, I want to change my path, mentors. So always have those folks available and get mentors in multiple areas of your life. You got professional mentors, you've got educational mentors, you've got spiritual mentors, you've just got life, somebody you could just talk to, and you bounce ideas off of multiple people. So when I say I talk to a lot of different folks, I have probably 12 tree branches that I either text or talk to on the phone all the time. And all the time could be once a week, once a month. But that has helped me with my pivot. I've actually had one of my tree branches she works for the tribe. She's the one who hired me. So again, things come back to you if you take care of folks. My UCF training, one of my branches who back at UCF, I'm coming back down here to do some training with student workers at the Chris Center in October. So someone who used to work for me hired me to come do that. So again, the pivots keep happening because of mentors and people how you take care of. Partnerships. So again, when you're talking, networking, and working with people, don't just take, give. And then you'll see how things come back to you. Another area for pivoting is listen. A lot of times when you talk to people really want to be able, when they talk to you, tell you what they're interested in. And if you're willing to stop sometimes and just listen, then you can, an idea pop into your head. So a lot of the articles I write for my blog is just from me talking to people. Someone will say, a friend of mine who's a mentor, Kim Dean, she works for Deloitte in Atlanta. I worked with her at Macon State College years and years. So she was in that office with Ann Lloyd. So she texted me and it's like, you're a unicorn. And that's our thing. And I wrote that article based on that because I'm a unicorn because of things she gives me. She edits my LinkedIn profile and tells me what to add and what to change. She looks at my resume like, that's not good. She looks at my sales pitch when I'm reaching out to companies. So listening, partnering, mentors, and believing in yourself. No one's ever told me I can't do anything. If they did, I wouldn't listen to them. I always say if you can think it and you can believe it and if somebody did it, I can do it. So how do I pivot from being an analyst to working in career services? Nobody told me I couldn't do it, and I thought I could, and I can talk my way into pretty much anything. For event planning, I've been told no. And again, I would say when you run up against an obstacle, no is not personal. It's just something for you to go around or go over.
I agree.
So, have I ever been told no? Yes. Have I ever been turned out for a job? Yes. But does it affect me? It's not personal. It's business for the most part. So I think if you can just go from rejection to rejection to rejection until you find exactly what you want, you're going to be successful. So those are some of the things that when I talk about that unicorn and pivoting, the mentors, the partnering, being willing to listen, believe in yourself. And we talked earlier, positive self-talk. I wake up every morning and I hype myself up. I'm my biggest hype man. When you guys saw me right out here, I was texting one of my tree branches. There's an article I have on the blog where I talk about walk-up music. So if you're going to do a big presentation, what do you listen to? And most of you, I don't listen to me. I do, to hype me up. So before I came in here, I'm sitting in the car and I changed my hype music is normally Bob Marley, reggae, to kind of get me into the mindset of listening. But I switched it to old hip hop artists, Eric B. and Rakim.
Oh, I know them.
So I did move the crowd. So my job is to move y'all and kind of give you inspiration. And then I went from that to Prince. I'm a big Prince fan. Let's work. So I walked in the door thinking I'm getting ready to go to work, even though y'all said, I'm just going to interview you. But this is work to me, and it's enjoyable at the same time. So I always say, pivoting, what music gets you in that right mindset for what you're going to do. So I play a lot of music to get myself. Before I do a presentation, I'm listening to music. And it gets me in the mindset of, okay, let's go to work.
That's really good advice, yeah. We do know that, well, I think there's a direct correlation between the volume of the music, the type of music and the volume of the music, and the amount of pressure put on the accelerator in the car. You know, it actually determines if you're going to be getting a speeding ticket. So that's key. But music does play that, give us an ability to.
And
get
that's
a lot
why I
of it.
gravitate to reggae because it puts you in a good mindset.
Kind of
that
a
I
mellow.
yeah, so I don't have to. So when I show up, I'm like, hey, let's go to work. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Prince is good too. I would agree with that. Okay, so we are closing up to the end of our show. It always moves so very, very fast, unfortunately. Yeah. So we're going to give recognition to Valencia College. We love being here. Thank you. We love Q. He's the station manager. Notice, Q, I did not have to come and get you for any help tonight, so that's good. We appreciate being in the studio, this great atmosphere, and we also like the new microphone that you put into the room. So let's do some shout-outs and go around the room. Jonathan, who's your shout-out for?
All of you guys for being here, and my parents for sure.
Oh,
As
and your
always.
brothers.
And my brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
your
think
sister.
that's-
We
and
shouldn't
my
forget her.
sister.
Yeah. Can't leave her out.
leave her
Siblings
out.
and parents. Yeah. Okay, cool. Mel?
A shout out to my cousin Julie. She actually just graduated high school a year early, so
Nice.
yeah, congrats to that.
Okay.
Oh, just as always, a quick shout out to all my friends and family members, especially my mom. It's her birthday on the 31st, so happy birthday, Mom. I'll be giving you a call just to celebrate and all that. I don't know if you're tuning in.
Competition?
Oh, the end of June, the weekend of the 27th.
Okay.
Yeah. And a shout out to all of you guys and to you, Dr. Williams, for joining us. Thank you.
All right. Corey.
I'd like to give a shout out to Imperial Sap. She's graduating from high school in a couple of days, so congratulations to you, and shout out to everybody here, and thank you for the speaker. Had great words and knows how to talk and has a lot of mentorship and insight.
He has radio voice, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that radio voice. Okay, and Dr. Williams.
I get to go. I guess shout out to you guys for listening to me, invite me in. My tree, and if they're listening, they understand the unicorns that I know in the world, the unicorns that we're going to make. And you, Isabella,
thank you.
just for the courage to kind of reach out, because we didn't know each other, and she met me through someone else, and we had a conversation, and I think this has been a good partnership. So I really appreciate you inviting me down and letting me participate.
Oh, well, thank you. And my shout out goes first to you. Thank you for being our guest tonight. Thank you to our listeners. We always appreciate them. And then thank you for the team in the room. You guys always make this look easy and flawless, and that is how it is looking here all the time. And Abby, I'm really glad to see you here tonight, too.
Thank you. Glad
Yeah.
to be here.
And then thanks to everybody else that's out there, software team, game team, Sophie who does the music, and then also all of the others that are interning with our employers, and then Katrina. And I feel like I forgot somebody, but nonetheless, thanks to all of those people, past, present, and future. All right, so you want to take us out? Oh, wait, how to contact us on the show. It's info@internpursuit.tech, and our phone number is 321-422-2166, and then you can find us on Facebook, Follow us there. It's Intern Pursuit on Twitter. You can listen to us live on mixlr.com, Valencia College Radio. Follow the Intern Whisper. And as we close the show, we want to thank you, our listeners, for listening to us.